The town of Southport, North Carolina, is once again rocked by a killing spree. However, taking us back 27 years, we have the origin of the film. But what we do have in this new movie is a storyline that builds off of the events 27 years ago. Ultimately, a standalone legacy sequel of the original film. I Know What You Did Last Summer is going to be a movie that people are going to go see because of the names within it. But they're also going to go see it based on the nostalgic feeling that it brings. Now, in 1997, I was 3 years old. With that, I really did not see the original until I got older. But what we have in the new one is a group of 5 friends that kind of have to rekindle a friendship. And on July 4th, a tragic event takes place. Now, what I think this movie does a good job of is really bringing in the feeling of the original with you having them killing a fisherman. But what I think with this film they do a good job of is allowing you to have a same premise, but it is told in a different perspective. The event that took place is not the same, so having that little bit of a difference does make this movie more understandable. Now, as the film goes on, you really see the chaos that is taking place within the friend group, within trying to bring back the thoughts of former living members. So you do see Julie James and Ray Brunson come back into the film, and their roles do have a purpose. Now, a lot of times when you have a movie that is going to focus on old characters or bring back characters, it's more of just that symbolic feeling. What I can really say that the new one does is allow you to actually have those characters serve a purpose. Now, I'm not going to get into spoilers about what their role is, but I was very impressed. Now, I think when you look at a movie like this and it's set into a pro-con type of way and it's built as a horror film, there are funny moments. I think you look at the characters, each character within this movie has some type of personality that allows them to stand out. And I think that's what makes this movie easy to follow. Now, looking at the pros, I've already mentioned the characters and kind of the symbolic changing of the storyline and allowing it to still come together. I think another pro that this movie has when you are sitting down to watch it is the way that it flows. I feel like you understand each individual scene and it all makes sense. So when you are watching this, you're not really looking at it thinking, oh, what's going to happen next, as you would in a typical horror film. You're looking at it from the perspective of why. And I think what the director did a good job of is telling us why that person was next on the list and why that person had to go. And so that allowed this movie to flow very, very well. I think another pro that really just stands out from my perspective, when you're looking at the characters, if they had the characters together at all time, I think it could have ruined this movie. And what I think they did a good job of is allowing us to see the personalities that I've already touched on, but allowing us to see them in their individual self. When you're watching this, there's a lot of scenes where the characters are by themselves or they're one-on-one. So it's not a whole focus of this group style setting. And like I said, another thing that you see in this movie is the comedy. I think there is some comedy to break up what is taking place, but allow you to understand kind of a serious situation. Sometimes it can be a little bit lighthearted from that perspective. Finally, I think the biggest pro of this movie is the way that the antagonist is introduced. When you are watching this, there are about 3 people that you could sit and point and say they are the ones that are responsible. But the way that the movie goes and the way that they introduce the antagonist, I think was done very well. Now we get to the cons. I think for me, one of the biggest cons within this movie, especially early on, is the predictability. I think there are so many different things, whether it is the early scenes with the first kill to around the third kill. I think it is just too predictable. I understand it being a horror movie and it's supposed to provide some suspense, but if we're just being honest, the suspense was not there. And so when you have a film like this that is portrayed as a horror movie category film or somewhat like that, I think when you have that lack of suspense, that does play a factor. But then you look at just the overall enjoyability. I think there are parts in this movie, even though there are a lot of pros, I think there are so many dull moments within this movie that make it a little bit harder to watch. Even though the story is flowing, you understand what is going on, you're looking at it from the perspective of what was the overall purpose of that action. And so while you have the characters and while you have everything to come together, I don't know if this is going to be a movie that people are going to walk out and say, oh, 10 out of 10, perfect movie, go see it. It's good. If you like the original, I highly recommend going to see it because you'll be able to see the differences. Now for an overall rating. I think for me, I Know What You Did Last Summer is a 3.8 out of 5. I feel like it is a overall solid movie. I wouldn't say that it's great by any means. I think they do a very good job of highlighting the nostalgic aspects of the original and the other ones that have come along. And so I think if you are looking for a more modern version of the film that follows a similar storyline, you're going to enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I'm not going to act like this is going to be the best movie that I see all year. So I Know What You Did Last Summer is out now. For me, it is a 3.8 out of 5. It is a movie that I will come back and see. I had to come to a later showing at 10:55 because for my summer job, I have to be in at work at 2:30 in the morning. And the people in there were 7 of us, and you had people that just wanted to talk the whole time. So you can add that to a con, but it won't take away from the rating. So I Know What You Did Last Summer is out now. If you have a chance to see it, I would recommend it. But let me know what you think. Make sure to stay tuned for more reviews coming this weekend. Eddington is coming tomorrow, or I guess today now. The review will drop later this afternoon. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you all later.